Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner, and I got another knife video for you from the collection. I hope this is okay doing these things. These are some older knives. I get some good comments, so I think that some people like it. It's kind of hard to make a full judgment. I don't think I get like as many views on something like this, but it's fun for me because sometimes a knife like this gets forgotten about in my collection, and I'm not breaking it out too often. And then I do a video like this, it just reminds me how much I like it. This is a really great knife. It is the Feldspar from CJRB, and yeah, it's in my mind. And this is another thing that's like a preference, right? In my mind, it's an evergreen knife. And what I mean by evergreen knife, and I didn't make up that term, I've heard it from other people, is a knife that's going to be around. It's been around. I bought this pretty early in my collecting, and it's still available. I didn't see it with this micarta though. They have some G10 versions, but man, I really like this micarta one. I've always been a big fan of the way these kind of patina and look over time. I guess you can clean them if you wanted to after if you want to go back to what it was originally. But I just love that look. So and the texture of it is a lot like a Kaiser micarta. Just really has great texture. So I mean, hopefully there's still some micarta ones out there available, but certainly you can get the G10 ones. And I think I saw it on Blade HQ today on sale for like 35 bucks. So yeah, great budget knife. Really good. Deep carry clip that is reversible. Being a righty, it doesn't mean as much to me, but I think that if I was a lefty, it would be important to me. So I think it would be nice for companies. I know that there's issues with the way it looks or whatever, but then there's a budget knife, and it doesn't really bother me, with this kind of little cutout in there. But the great thing about the cutout is that means that the clip is going to be inset into the liner on both sides, and it's got flat screws. So yeah, in and out of the pocket is just fabulous with this thing, and it's going to hide down in that pocket pretty deeply. I can always use this microfiber to kind of show it, but I think it's pretty obvious that that thing's going to hide way down in your pocket. Not that that's a big thing to me, but it is to some people. We all have our preferences, but this is someone who's doing knife videos and trying to, point out the good and the bad and the ugly of knives to people. I try to be pointing out things that I've heard other people care about. I love that blade shape. It's very aggressively the tip is very much, certain blade shapes, the tip is prioritized. Does that make sense? This one is very prioritized, and just, very slim and sleek looking blade. I like its thumb stub only, and that is really. I think I'm a hole in the blade guy for the most part, because I do the middle finger flick more often, but the thumb studs are right up there because the thumb studs for me work better with the thumb, so it gives you that option. Back flipper has never really been so much of my thing. And the fact that it's not on here doesn't cause me problems. Plus, even the handle shape, sometimes I like a flipper just because it gives me like a little bit of a guard area here to keep my finger from sliding up. But this one has that shape. It kind of flares out in the back. It's definitely contoured on this one. I don't know if the G10 one would be. Hopefully it would be, because this one's contoured. And it feels so good in the hand. So good. Yeah, it's got that inset liner lock. And this one's like about 50%, but I've had it a long time. So it's not going too far. I mean, it's stood the test of time. I tell you, when I first had this one, I carried it quite a bit. So it's got a lot of time on it, and it hasn't traveled too bad for sure. I don't remember what it was in the beginning, but hasn't traveled across too much, if you know what I mean. You know, because if it goes too far, and I've had knives do that before, usually really inexpensive, just kind of no-name-ish brands will go too far to the point where you can't get to really come back well. This one's been great. Let me see, the access to the that liner, even though it doesn't have any kind of texture here to grab it, there's like a little chamfer there to make it feel comfortable, so it's not a sharp corner, and it accesses super well. It's got a little pop of color. It's pretty subtle, but it's kind of got a brass look to that. Pivot collar and action, just awesome. Drops right down, flicks right out, great detent. I mean, it's just really, I don't know if I can fail it. I don't think I can. Yeah, I guess I can. I think that one, when I did it, my finger was kind of dragging on it. It's almost like I was doing it on purpose. But yeah, I mean, generally, I never really have this thing fail. I guess the sharpening choil is not quite, doesn't give you tons of room, but plenty of enough room for a few sharpenings for sure. I know I've sharpened this thing up. I think I did have this one in my Faulkner 5 when I was doing a budget version of it on one of the shows, and I would have sharpened it for sure after that. D2 steel, made in China, obviously CJRB, the more budget brand of artisan cutlery. Sorry, I'm looking to grab some paper. I think I just sliced up my last one that I was using. I'm still working on this old 2022 calendar from Spyderco. Just it's so, it got so many pages in here because there's just so many cool Spydercos. It makes it really good for me to use if I can get out a sheet for cutting purposes. So I'm just going to cut it up real fast. Look at that. After all the wear and tear on this guy, still cuts very well. Maybe not perfect. Tip goes in really well. Slices very nicely. You know, I'm not the greatest sharpener in the world, but I can get it sharp enough to cut and take some hair off. So, not a bad thing. So, evergreen. I don't know. Give me your opinions if you want in the comments. Because it's been around for a while. One of the things that kind of brought this to mind was that the Unprofessional Dad, check out his channel, was doing the Valona from Migaron, and it kind of feels like that one is an evergreen. Although I don't have that one, or I would break it out. I'm going to use some knives that I consider to be evergreen here for size comparison. So you can see the Rat 1 being kind of that larger size comparison version, is a little bit longer, but not that much. Then we got the Penguin. I think that's kind of moved up into that category with all the different versions that it has, and then it's been around, and it's great budget steel. And you can tell that that's smaller. So there's that area. Oh, I got the cat up here. The cat's coming up to say hi. First time, I think, showing up in one of my videos. Then they got the pyrite. I got my pink pyrite here, and it's getting close to the same size, same company, CJRB. Let's see what's next. Uh-oh, there he goes. There he goes. I had to kick him out of his balcony so I can close the window because there's too much noise outside. The PM2. The PM2 is a little bit longer, but very, very close. Another very evergreen knife. You still hear people talking about the PM2 quite a bit. So it's going to be around, I think, forever. Here's a love it or hate it sort of thing. I don't love or hate it, but it is the Bug Out, and I believe it's going to be around. I think it's an evergreen knife. You know, it's always going to have a certain amount of popularity. Here's a one way back in the past. I don't know how old this design is, but it's been around a long time. The Buck 110. So there you go. Buck 110 is definitely a full-size knife, and we're very close. So yeah, gives you an idea. I think the reason why some of the size comparison knives, I wouldn't say the Buck 110 is normally a size one comparison, but a lot of these other ones is because they are evergreen and so many people own them. So it kind of helps to make that comparison. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing a few of these. You know, trying to find interesting ones in my collection, something that stands out in one way or another. And this is because of that evergreen sort of thing. They're a little bit shorter videos that way. I don't do those big monster videos like I've been doing with the preferences stuff. So that might be good for some people. So I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, I'll be back, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.